this year we should be able to really have one heck of a celebration.
We started recording and streaming.
Okay. Yeah, maybe just a little bit. (6:30).
This public hearing is called to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Supervisor Conway?
Present.
Counselor Tierney?
Present.
Counselor Kennedy?
Present.
Counselor Matters?
Present.
Counselor Fritz?
Present.
Pursuant to the Executive Order Number 203 issued by Governor Cuomo, each local government entity which has a police agency must perform a comprehensive review of current police force deployments, strategies, policies, procedures, and practices, and develop a plan for improvement to address the particular needs of the community, promote community engagement, foster trust, fairness, and legitimacy, and to address any racial bias and disproportionate policing of communities of color. The draft plan shall be offered for public comment and shall be presented to the town board to ratify or to adopt no later than April 1st, 2021. In response to the executive order, the town board convened a committee of community stakeholders to develop such plan. The committee has performed a comprehensive review of current police force deployments, strategies, policies, procedures, and practices, and the committee has developed a draft plan to improve such deployments, strategies, policies, procedures, and practices. The town board will offer the plan in draft form for public comment to all residents in the town and will consider all public comments prior to adoption of the plan. The town board of the town of East Greenbush will hold a public hearing to consider comments on the police reform and reinvention collaborative plan for Wednesday, March 17th, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. by remote means. Pursuant to Executive Order Number 202.1 issued by Governor Cuomo on March 12th, 2020, and advisories issued by federal, state, and local officials related to the COVID-19 virus, the town board will convene its March 17th, 2021 public hearing and town board meeting remotely as follows. To access public hearing and town board meeting, you have several options: via Zoom or calling in with a smartphone. Important notes for voice-only participants. Please note that when dialing in voice only, you may experience time on hold until being admitted to the meeting. To protect the privacy of your phone number, please call in dialing *67 before the phone number listed. To view live stream, you can go to the town's YouTube channel. Written comments may be submitted to the town board by email to epangburn@eastgreenbush.org, to the town clerk, or by mail to the town board, Town of East Greenbush, 225 Columbia Turnpike, Rensselaer, New York, at any time prior to the hearing.
Okay, thank you, clerk. Okay, basically what we're doing here is we're following Executive Order 203. We're going to do the public hearing now, but before we do, I just want to introduce the members of the committee who did this work. It was Deputy Supervisor Tina Tierney, Chief of Police Elaine Rudzinski, Assistant Police Chief John Reichert, Maria Barrington, who is with us tonight, Roger Johnson, Aaron Matthews, who's a senior at Columbia High School, Ingrid Wurge, and Robin Cole. And the 9 of us met most Tuesday nights at 6 p.m., and this is what we came up with. So it's been on the website for 10 days. And we do have a couple members of the public. So typical structure of a public hearing is I'll ask first if anyone would like to speak in support of the plan. And when we're done with that, we'll go to would anyone like to speak in opposition. So would anyone like to speak in support of the plan? David?
Mine's both support and some comments about the plan itself. First question I have is this going to be published to YouTube at all, this meeting?
Yes, it should be live streaming there now.
All right. I want to say you guys done a good job on this. It's the reports is very formatted very well. Quite a lot of detail in there, surprisingly. Some of the questions and some of the comments I have is that on page I about the employing smart and effective policing standards and strategies, I'm concerned about the word reimagine. I was under the impression that there are many professional training options already in place in the federal, state, and local level. Based upon a survey response, I thought that each Greenbush Police Department already has engaged in community collaboration and outreach. How much more do you need without the primary law enforcement mission being negatively affected? The other comment I have is on page II, where it says, urge the state of New York to assemble and report traffic stop data by race at the municipal level. I thought that was kind of a touchy subject there in some of the meetings. Is that something you want to go forward with?
Well, the conversation, David, was whether we wanted that done at the local level where our officers have to make an identification. And what we decided was that wasn't fair, wouldn't be accurate. And so we're asking the state to do it because many of their reports already have that variable filled in. So what that is that's not putting the burden on our guys.
The second part right after that says about providing the opportunities for officers to engage in decision making about policies and program needs. I completely support that. On the introduction page, down the second paragraph, starts talking about the executive order requires the chief operating officer, so forth and so on. I still question a number of the respondents that to the survey that it was truly representative of our town population, our resident population. And I did not see a resource guide published or linked to the Town of East Greenbush website.
We can put that up.
Okay. On page number 5, New York State Credit Agency, I was surprised that we weren't accredited before December 2017. Is that correct?
That is correct. There was an accreditation officer since 2001. So when we got here, we said we required the department to become accredited. And as we went through this exercise, it was very helpful that we had done that.
The event activities on page number 6, that was pretty interesting information. I think the residents of Town of East Greenbush would be interested in the breakdown of some of these event categories as to which are town residents versus those coming from the other towns and committing these violations. That would be very interesting, I think, to the Town of East Greenbush public. Not to get individual, personally PI information, but just in general, what are town resident violators versus coming out of town?
Yeah.
For example, Walmart. On page number 7, as you know, in most instances, police officers may be the first responders, then fire department, and then ambulance rapidly follow. Although social services and mental health professionals may need to be involved, it is very important that the scene is secured for their safety and all others involved at the scene. Therefore, I'm concerned that they may be elevated to first responder status, any kind of mental health professional. So that, I think, should be considered in whatever the policy is going forward. The use of force on page number 10. Talk about all sessions emphasize de-escalation and so forth and so on. My comment is that let's hope that any change in policies do not jeopardize the safety of an officer or officers other than first responders, anyone else at the scene. On page number 24, on the recommendations part, improve mental health services to help the police handle mental health crises. As I said before, consider the safety of all that may be called to the incident. Page number 28, hosts conversations to connect our community. It's my understanding there's a lot of East Greenbush Police Department engagement with the public already. More positive conversations, better. Might help some people gain a little more knowledge about and about the law, about the police department. And last but not least, the recommendation to post chief of police monthly reports on the town website. I would encourage you to bring back the incident reports. They are very informative, and some of these police activities going on in the town of East Greenbush are without revealing PII. The last one I saw was where it was dated 1/18/2020, and they're called daily summaries reported by Emergitech. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Jennifer Hickson, are you here?
I am here.
You
And I
want
want to speak.
would you like to speak?
Sure, I would. I was very impressed with the thoroughness of the report. I agree with the items that the officers identified as paramount, namely mental health and domestic violence. I'm very pleased that our chief is a woman, and sorry to note that there were no women among the recruits or among the applicants. One of the things that's been on my mind lately because of stories about Sarah Everard and being killed in London, and also because of stories about Officer Matthew Wild in East Greenbush, is the significant danger of misogyny in police departments. So I'm very glad that East Greenbush is addressing that, as well as the danger of racial bias. I have talked to an officer who was recounting a call he was on where I thought his response to a mentally ill person was unfortunate and reflected not his personal failings, but a failing of training. So I'm really glad that you're paying attention to that. Overall, though, I was very impressed with the report and thought you did a great job of addressing the concerns that have come to light recently.
Thank you, Jennifer. You know, one of the things that I read when I was first supervising at the police department that really struck me is that a police department should look like the community it represents. And if you wander around East Greenbush, there are a lot of women. So, so that's been one of the pushes I've made. But as you pointed out, the last civil service list for Rensselaer County had no women on it. And so, you know, we're trying to encourage some people looking at various ways to do it. But there is no doubt that we need more women. But the chief is fighting the good fight. So if there are women to be found, she will find them. So, all right.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the committee for their work, for taking this so seriously and doing such a great job.
Thank you, Jen. Is there anyone else, Megan, who came in?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
That appears to be it, other than the board and Maria being a committee member.
All right. Let me then again ask if anyone would like to speak in support of the plan. And hearing none, I'm supposed to ask a third time, but if the definition of insanity is repeating the same act and expecting a different outcome, I don't want to be guilty of that. Would anyone like to speak in opposition to the plan? Okay. Hearing no one, I'll ask just one more time. Would anyone like to speak in opposition to the plan? Okay, well, here's where we are. I mean, next week we have a special meeting on the 24th, where we will vote on the resolution to adopt the plan. I think it's safe to say that the plan will be adopted. I'm sure Tina and I will tinker with a couple of semicolons between now and then, but for the most part, it's done. It was a great group. It really was a great group. The group dynamic and chemistry was perfect. Everybody worked really hard on this. I just want to thank everyone. Tina, do you want to say something before I adjourn?
Yeah, no, I think you said it well. Maria, thanks for being here tonight. It's always nice to see you, and thanks for your work and your contributions. Just one comment I do want to make on the survey responses. I wholeheartedly agree that the response rate is not representative of the community. I think it is representative, though, of the people who are interested in this mission, this task that we were asked to do. So I do feel really good about the number that we got is representative of the people who would want to express themselves. If we did want to get a representative sample of the community, we certainly would have needed a lot more time and some money to, do mailers or reminders or advertiser ads or something. So, we wholeheartedly recognize that it is supposed to be representative of the people who are interested in this issue. So that's the only thing I wanted to add, but thank you.
And Tina, to Jennifer's point, 63% of the people who responded to the survey were women.
Mm-hmm.
So we did at least tap into some of the issues and feelings of women in town. All right, with that, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing. May I have a second?
I will second that.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy? Counselor Kennedy?
Holly, you're muted.
Where'd she go?
Uh-huh.
Go back to her. Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Okay, so it's 6:47. The business meeting will start at 7. And just we're live streaming, Megan, right? So watch what you guys say.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Hey, Jennifer, nice to see you.
You too.
Thank you. Is this a meeting, Jack, the next meeting you have, is that something for John and I or no?
This is the town board meeting for the month of, what month are we in, March?
Oh, it's Wednesday. Oh my gosh, right, it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm thinking it's Tuesday. I'm so used to it being Tuesdays when we sit here together like this.
Just as frazzled as I am today, aren't you?
Yeah, it's strange times in town hall for us.
Mhm.
We have,
How's everyone doing in town hall?
well, we have the assessors are all working because they're all fully vaccinated. Laura Inglesby's working in the court because she's fully vaccinated. Tony Murphy is vaccinated, but that 10-day period, she's moving towards the end of it, so she can come in as she wants. I snuck in this morning to make sure the agenda was right, and eventually ran into Lisa Borst, who came in to get work. So, we've done this before. We know how to work from home. We're keeping everything moving. DPW's at full strength. The police are 24/7 as always. So we're weathering the storm. It's frustrating. On a personal level, I really, really do not like town hall being closed. You work so hard for that not to be the case. But I really do think we're at the end of this. We had 2 positive cases, and nobody's showing any symptoms from that. We'll be out of the woods on Friday, but at this point, we had a deep cleaning of the building yesterday, so it's been industrial cleaned. It's supposed to be good for 90 days protection against the virus. Staff, 10 people are getting vaccinated tomorrow. And so, you know, this is a temporary setback for us. I think we'll be at full strength and we'll be open on at least a limited basis to the public by April 5th. That's the goal anyway, if we clear all the hurdles. And if it has to be pushed back a week or two, that's what we'll do. But everybody's making do.
Great.
Yeah, it's I've had enough. I mean, I know I'm not alone in this feeling, but I've really, really had enough of this pandemic.
So was that out of extreme caution that was recommended that people not come in because
Yes.
they were masked and 6 feet apart?
Yeah. It was. What happened is we talked to the county health department, and I talked to them. Lisa talked to them, and then I talked to the state Department of Health, and it came down to basically only Stacy Crane, who shared an office with one of the people who was positive. Only she's officially quarantined. The rest of us are voluntarily quarantining. It really is an abundance of caution. And we've worked out ways for everybody to get in to town hall at times to do what they need to do. So all the business keeps moving, but it's frustrating,
Mm-hmm.
especially in town hall, because we really got socked in December. I mean, all at once. And yeah, we felt like we paid our dues. We should be free, but that's not how this works.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hey, Dan, do you have the leaf pickup dates all set?
Yes, we're starting April 12th, which was
Make it
kind of hard to
breaking.
plan 2 weeks ago when it's snowing, you know. So,
Hopefully we won't see any more snow.
we know next week they'll all be out. So, you know, it's going to be 60s next week. So everyone will be outside. I think we're all set with the snow,
Yeah, I think you're right.
Good.
hopefully.
yeah. But Dan, I remember once before when the chief declared a moratorium on crime.
Yeah.
It was partially effective, but it wasn't full.
It doesn't appear so from our arrest numbers. It seemed it
It did seem it.
for maybe about a month, and then it was fast and furious for the other months to make up for it.
Yeah. Well, Danny's just done the same thing. He's declared a moratorium on snow.
There you go. I like that. I got you back on that one. I seconded that, Dan.
He has a better chance than you did.
True.
you
True.
know?
I guess the unofficial moratorium would be the 20th on Saturday, which is first day of spring. But, you know, it's not as if you wave your hand and, you know, nothing's going to fall out of the sky necessarily,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I just got a memory on Facebook from 4 years ago, I think it was. And it was earlier this week, and we had 2 feet of snow.
Lizard.
Blizzard. Although, Dan, it made me nostalgic. I had a picture of the Honda Fit, and it was literally covered with snow. Made me miss that car.
I lived in the I lived in Center Square when we had that 3 feet in March, like towards the end of March, and I couldn't even get my car off the road. It was awful.
Yeah. You can get overpowered by snow.
Mm.
It's amazing.
And we've definitely been known to get snow in April, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
count your chickens yet, Danny.
Bridget?
No, he issued an order, Bridget.
Oh, okay.
We're all set. I'm going to be opening the pool soon, so no more stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah, we hope.
Are we having a pool party at Dan's house?
Yes, I heard that. I
We'll
would
do the
love to.
Zoom poolside Zoom meeting.
Yeah, right.
It would be nice if we reached the point where we could have some kind of event in the Red Barn for town employees, and just kind of a back to normalcy. kind of thing. We're not there yet. We're not even close enough to plan it. But I have visions of early fall having maybe some kind of social gathering. I mean,
That might be good. Yeah.
Right now I'm just trying to cheer myself up. So I keep coming up with ideas. Because for those of you who don't know, St. Patrick's Day is a very, very important day to me. And this year I am so depressed about St. Patrick's Day. Ireland is struggling with COVID. They're struggling also because travel restrictions basically destroy a third of the economy in Ireland, where tourism is part of the bedrock of the Irish economy. But they're doing okay. In Belfast, people went through 25, 30 years of the war, and now they're dealing with this. They finally seem to have gotten things relatively figured out, and now they can't go out of their houses.
Has anybody watched that show on Netflix, Dairy Girls?
Oh, it's fabulous.
I like
Fabulous show.
What'd you say, Dave?
I love the way they talk. I like the accent, and I like just the trash talking back and forth, and it's so quick,
It's hilarious.
It's right on point too, because the way those girls wander around and the troubles are in their life, but they don't dominate their life. But you could hear something, you could walk out, see the army could pull you over and talk to you. So they do a great job with that. And those northern accents are just indecipherable sometimes.
No subtitles though, yeah.
Yeah, they could use subtitles, that's for sure.
Have you heard what Ireland's relative access to the vaccine has been, Jack? Or
well, they do have pharmaceutical companies there who vote, like Regeneron has a factory in Ireland, so they have pretty good connections with pharmaceuticals. I think they're using the UK variant vaccine that England is using. So, but the Irish are. I know it's a stereotype, but there's just such a sense of delight that Irish people get out of how much it means to Americans to come there. They really feel connected to us in ways. I did a talk once for the National Environmental Group in Dublin, and I said the Irish never built a city because they were built by Normans and Vikings, English and everyone else. And 72-year-old Kitty Lanigan, a retired dentist, raises her hand in the back and says, "Jack, but we built New York." And I said, for an Irish kid from the Bronx to forget that. And then she keeps going, and we built Philadelphia. Finally, she says, "Heck, we even built Savannah, Georgia." So they love that, and that's missing. It's really, really missing. So, but better days are ahead.
that's for sure.
Oh, here comes Mr. Adam. There's a planning board meeting tonight. So, here, Adam, how you doing? You're not, Adam, you're not talking to me? All right. One minute, Alan.
Yep, yep.
There's Adam.
Jack, Jack, the movie Far and Away with Tom Cruise, you've seen that, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. The famous one is The Quiet Man.
Oh, God, I got that on DVD.
Yeah.
I
John
made my
Wayne,
husband and son watch it.
That's a good one.
John Wayne with an Irish accent.
Oh, yeah.
It's on Netflix right now.
Is it?
Or not Netflix, Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime.
Okay. The March meeting of the East Greenbush Town Board is called to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America,
United States of America.
and to the republic for which it stands,
For which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
under God,
with liberty and justice for all.
with liberty and justice for all.
Supervisor Conway,
present.
Counselor Tierney,
Present.
Counselor Kennedy,
Present.
Counselor Matters,
President.
Counselor Fritz.
Present.
Okay, we'll start with comments from the counselors. Counselor Tierney.
Just really quick, I don't know if anybody saw the TimesUnion.com today, but the Critics Notebook, the headline was Best Kept Secrets of East Greenbush Dining, which of course we know is not best kept secrets. We have fantastic dining in East Greenbush. We're finally getting the recognition we need with some additional restaurants. I hope everybody stays healthy and safe. There's an increase in eligibility for the vaccines, but there's also a significant increase in appointments. So if anybody's looking, try again. That's it.
Okay. Counselor Kennedy.
Thank you. First, I'd just like to thank all the 9 people on the committee that did develop the plan, the police reform and reinvention collaborative plan that we just talked about in our public hearing. I mean, thank you, all of you, for working tirelessly on that. But again, I'm also really impressed with the thoroughness of that report and, the contents in it. It's a great job. So I'm looking forward to adopting it next Wednesday. And I'd also, at this juncture, I'd like to thank all of the members of our East Greenbush Police Department. I mean, I don't think people realize the job that these men and women have every day. They don't go home and leave their job at the office. I mean, our officers, sergeants, the dispatchers, their jobs are to save lives in our town, and they do a darn good job of saving people's lives in this community. And I think the more we can recognize and appreciate the work that they do and the dedication of all our officers and our sergeants and the communication specialists, I mean, the required training that they have, I mean, from medical to, Narcan, AED, and de-escalation techniques, they have to be prepared on a second's notice to walk into a situation and save someone's life. And I would just like to thank the police department and all the emergency, the first responders, because without them, there would be a lot more heartache in our town. Trust me, and I know from personal experience. One of my own family members their life has been saved twice, and they're short-lived by members of our department. So thank you to all of them.
Is that it?
No, I just also our community services department is accepting applications still for camp counselors for the summer. So if anyone's listening, I mean, anyone who would like us apply for a counseling position this summer at camp, a person has to be at least 16, and the applications are on the website for submission. And also our community library is adding Monday hours now from 9 to 4, as well as this Saturday from 11 to 1. They're opening up for book donations. As you know, they have not been accepting any book donations. So they are starting to open up slowly and materials will be quarantined, but they're planning book sales for both Easter and Mother's Day to help with their fundraising. And that's all I have right now.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Matters?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I certainly would like to echo Councilor Kennedy's kudos to the Reform and Reinvention Collaborative. I know that this was a challenge that involved kind of a subject matter that so many of us would never necessarily be considered experts on, but yet the 9 members who met on this, certainly met that challenge, and did it with incredible substance and competence. When you think about this kind of a subject matter, when you think about the culture of police departments and how ingrained so much of that culture is, to put together a plan like this and expect it to really trickle down is that's really going to challenge all police departments, and certainly East Greenbush is going to be no exception. What I take a lot of what gives me a lot of confidence is the fact that we have leadership that will, I think, at the end of the day, is going to, make that reinvention, if you will, within our own police department. It's gonna make it happen. I mean, our chief of police and our assistant police chief, are gonna take care of that. They're gonna actually, effectuate this plan, and because it just doesn't happen by writing a plan. So many documents and things that are written up by units of government, end up written up, and then they get stuck in a file somewhere. That's not going to happen here, I don't believe, with our police department. So I guess I take a lot of, I have a lot of confidence in it, and I'm sure everyone else feels the same way. I also want to, good segue, I guess, here, drawing on a kind of a recent personal experience from a couple of nights ago. We had to summon emergency services to the Matters house. My wife had a mishap. I can't tell you, what kind of a personal shock and experience it is to see your wife lying on the floor, your spouse lying on the floor unconscious. But Bruin Rescue was here in under 10 minutes, along with a couple of our police officers, and I can't express my appreciation enough, based on a firsthand experience, and the how glad I am that we have these services in our town. So with that, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. That's all I have.
Councilor Fritz?
Thank you, Supervisor. I don't really have a lot to say tonight, but I would like to thank everyone who was involved in the Reform and Reinvention Collaborative. It really is an amazing piece of work that the team has put together, and I just think you guys have done a great job with that. I did happen to notice today, coming down 9 and 20, that it looks like Lickety Split is open, so spring is on the way. So enjoy the nice weather that we have coming up, and take care. Remember to take care. We do still have to be careful. We still do have to wear masks, but we do see some light at the end of the tunnel. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Okay, and I'll just be very brief. Obviously, everybody said the right things about the police reform and reinvention collaborative. The one thing I want to say on behalf of this board is we took this very seriously. It was an assignment that on the surface didn't look all that relevant to the issues our police department deals with. But we took it seriously. We took the opportunity to really review the culture, policies, practices, procedures of the police department. And we were very pleased with what we found. The deeper we went, the better it looked. And as Holly was saying, there's so much to being a police officer. I think we got to some of the complexity. We learned a lot. But most importantly, it's done. Next week we'll adopt it, and we can move on. But I do want to thank everyone who was involved. And just on a personal note, even though I'm very, very depressed on this particular St. Patrick's Day, I do want to wish everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day. I know everybody's Irish on a day like this, but you'd be amazed at how many tens of millions of Americans do have Irish descent, and many of us are very proud of that. So happy St. Patrick's Day, and with that, we'll go to the open public privilege. Would anyone like to speak? David, you unmuted, so I assume you're going to speak.
I'm trying to, you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Trying to get myself video. My video's not working. I got a couple comments on several of the resolutions. I know you had these resolutions pre-board meeting. Then going back to the issue with the Regeneron 70, Resolution 71 and 72, they're all Regeneron related.
Yeah.
And it just boggles my mind that how much money is being spent on that project, especially the roundabout, which could be resolved with a simple no left-hand turn. That given the fact that the federal and the state and local governments have been hit hard budget-wise, and we're just one little community that's affected by this as far as the cost of doing something for a company in our area, which is really unclear where it is, how it's helping our community as far as employment, and taxes, and all kinds of stuff. That kind of money can be spent in one little area. Our country's got trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. And where's it going to stop? My comment on Resolution 73 about the sidewalk from the Rensselaer Town line, city line to Road Court, that also concerns me, that kind of money being spent on a sidewalk. If that's what it just is, a sidewalk. That it's less than 1,000 feet, my kind of guesstimate. And given that, it's about $63, almost $700 a foot for that sidewalk. And it's not going to be handicap accessible because someone in a wheelchair can't roll up that hill or even coast down a hill without issues. So I'm not quite sure why they want to spend that kind of money on that type of project. But it's been like that for as long as I've lived here. That's 38 years. The Resolution 77 about the reducing the members of the zoning board, I'm assuming that is something that can be reversed as needed, correct? So if sometime down the road where there is more activity in the zoning board, that they can possibly increase that number back up to more than 5 members.
I'm not sure, Dave. Remember, there was some kind of clause about that, wasn't there?
Yeah, I don't know that we could just do it by resolution back again. You know what I'm saying? I think we did it initially at 7, and this reduces it down to 5. And I'm not. I'd have to go. I don't have it. I didn't bring a copy with me, but I don't know that we can just do it by resolution back up. I'd have to look at the town law for that.
That if I would try to have that more flexible, that as needed it could be increased. That would be my, as a citizen, that would be my preference. And last but not least, resolution 78. It's kind of nice to see that you're doing something for their senior citizens in the town of East Greenbush. But what was unclear to me was that it said all medical expenses. I'm assuming that means all, like if somebody goes on a nursing home, that still owns a home in East Greenbush, that nursing home costs would also be part of that equation for the exemption.
Rick, do you know the answer to that?
I don't off the top of my head, no.
I don't either.
If that could be clarified, I mean, not that I'm saying going, but there's probably many people, I mean, there's one or two people in town of East Greenbush might have that situation. Go ahead.
Can you repeat that just a little bit? I was a little garbled, so I might not have gotten the full question. Can you reiterate that, please?
But it was unclear in the resolution where what consists of medical expenses.
Mm-hmm.
My question is that also include people that own homes in East Greenbush, but one of the people that own the property is in a nursing home? Would that nursing expenses be considered a medical expense?
Yeah, I now that I can hear all of, thank you very much, David. I'd have to go back and look at the section of the real property tax law that is sort of the enabler, if you will, of what we're pursuing locally here. I'm not sure if it gets into that qualification, so there may not be a limitation, but there could be. So I'm not, unfortunately, I can't give you a definitive response, but I'm sure it's, in looking back at that relevant section, I'm sure, in reading the language, I'm sure it would be apparent to know in terms of answering your question on that particular type of expense,
We're just tracking what the local law does is just track the language of the state law. So it's whatever the decision or whatever the decisional gloss on the state law is. I don't think it's something we could vary ourselves anyway.
Right.
David, we'll find out the answer and we'll get back to you.
Last but not least, I hope Rick, your wife is on rapid recovery.
Thank you very much, David. She's behind me timing wise, but I'm hoping the next couple of days, she's going to be all right. And I never thought I'd be thinking of my age as a factor. I never thought I'd have to be looking at that, but all of a sudden I just realized I'm 61 years old, and all of a sudden I'm saying to myself, my God, that's something I got to worry about now.
And the last thing I want to say is that with all these expenditures, federal, state, and local, that hope there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow today.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, David, one point of clarification though, the sidewalks from the Rensselaer City line. My very first work day in office, January 4th, 2016, Chief Lavin came to see me and he said, "You have your first fatal." I had never heard the word used quite like that. There's this gentleman who used to walk from Rensselaer up to Schodack and back, and right in that spot, he got hit by a car and was killed. And so we were approached about the grant because of that particular incident. And then also when you couple that with the practical business side of what's going on Discovery Drive, you really want to make that part of Columbia Turnpike more accessible and more attractive. So, but they came to us because of that person who died, and it is dangerous. It absolutely is dangerous. So, okay, Meg, is there anyone else in? No. Okay. With that, we'll close public comment and go to the resolutions.
So resolution 64 of 2021 approves the meeting minutes of the regular town board meeting held on February 17th, 2021. And I'd like to move the adoption of this reso. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Resolution 65 of 2021 is a resolution designating April 2021 as National Donate Life Month and April 16th, 2021 as Donate Life Blue and Green Day. I move this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes. Resolution 66 of 2021 is to settle an Article 78 proceeding and approve an easement agreement. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes. Resolution 67 of 2021, a resolution to authorize a public auction of surplus equipment. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, I do want to say this is the second month in a row the police department isn't spending any money. So I'm waiting for the $1 million tsunami in the month of April or May. It has to be coming.
We're just going to talk about that $1.7 million COVID relief, remember?
Oh, yeah, they said police are ineligible for it.
I don't believe it. I'd like to see that in writing, sir.
Yeah, me too.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Resolution 68 of 2021, a resolution awarding the engagement to perform audit services for the town's 2020 financial statements. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, I want to express a moment of pride in this resolution. In the first 15 years of the 21st century, the town of East Greenbush had 3 years independently audited. This will be our 6th year in a row. This was a promise Tina and I made when we were running. In the past, supervisors were cautious and didn't want to sign the engagement letter. And all the engagement letters it says is that you've shown them everything. You know, there was no fraud in the presentation of the books and all of that. And it's very worrying that there were supervisors who were wary of signing such a document. So this will be the 6th year in a row that we have an independent audit. UHY is state-of-the-art independent auditors, and I'm very, very proud of this. This is something we've done right from the start, and it pays off. So very happy about this.
And you should be proud.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Resolution 69 of 2021, a resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign an agreement with the City of Troy, the Town of Bethlehem, and MXI Environmental Services LLC relating to the disposition of certain household hazardous waste. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
This is big. This is very, very big. People have been asking for this. People are already signing up for it in like serious numbers. Great job by Adam Yagelski putting this together.
Absolutely.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Resolution 70 of 2021 is a resolution appointing Fred Henson to the East Greenbush Conservation Advisory Council. I move this resolution. May I please have a second?
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
This is a very good man. This is a very, very good man, adding a lot of ability here.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very, very strong group. Jenny Hickson, who was in the public hearing, is one of our members as well. Strong group.
That is a good group.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Resolution 2071 of 2021. A resolution to authorize the town supervisor to sign an escrow agreement with Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, Inc. to provide funds to New York State Department of Transportation to construct certain traffic impact mitigation projects required in connection with Regeneron's Temple Lane campus development. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, just to say that resolutions 71 and 72 are basically paired. This is the to do the traffic improvement mitigation projects for Temple Lane for Regeneron. Regeneron has to pay for it. DOT is going to do the managing of it. We are just a pass through for the money, and so the 71, the resolution we're doing now, is the escrow agreement in which Regeneron deposits the money in our accounts so that we can pass it along to DOT. So that's what's going on with 71. And then 72 is the betterment agreement. That's our agreement with DOT. And, we'll get both ends of the transaction straight so that the money gets passed through with no risk to the town. We incur no extra costs other than the staff time. And Adam has been working very hard on this, so there's been a lot of staff time. But other than that, we're just a pass-through. So that's what these two are, but we're on 71.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Resolution 72 of 2021, a resolution authorizing the implementation and funding of a federal aid transportation project to fund the local share of federal and state aid, eligible and ineligible project costs, and obtaining funds therefore as set forth below. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I will second.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Resolution 73 of 2021, a resolution authorizing the advertising and solicitation of bids for the construction phase of a partially federally funded transportation project to construct sidewalks from Bruin Court to the City of Rensselaer line. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I will second.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes. Resolution 74 of 2021, a resolution appointing Richard Williams to the position of part-time MS4 technician. I move this resolution. May I have a second, please?
I'll second that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
I said all these sad things when he retired, how much I was going to miss him, and he's back.
We're lucky.
We are very lucky. I'm very glad he's back. Very
Yeah.
glad. Smart thinking.
Yeah. Really good.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Resolution 75 of 2021 appoints Thomas White Jr. to the position of Code Enforcement Officer on a provisional basis. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
So a great promotional move for Tom in the building department. Continuing to, make improvements in that department.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Resolution 76 of 2021, a resolution to reschedule a public hearing to receive public comment on the proposed comprehensive plan as modified. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
The public hearing will be April 14th, which is pre-board night at 6 p.m.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Resolution 77 of 2021 is a resolution to adopt a local law reducing the membership of the East Greenbush Zoning Board of Appeals from 7 members to 5 members. I move this resolution. May I please have a second?
I will second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
I just want to point out that this resolution takes effect immediately. So as of, I believe it's the March 23rd zoning board meeting next week, this will be in effect.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Resolution 78 of 2021 is to reschedule a public hearing to consider the enactment of a local law to amend East Greenbush Local Law Number 3 of 1982 relative to the computation of income eligibility for the senior citizen real property tax exemption. I'd like to move the adoption of this reso. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, this public hearing's been scheduled for April 14th as well at 6:45.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Before I make a motion to adjourn, do any of the counselors have anything they want to say? Does the town clerk want to say anything?
I'll try not to be in the office the next 2 full days.
That's kind of an inside joke. Police department, you guys are all right? Anything you want to add? You're good? Danny?
I wanted to say, I think you forgot about the Italians helping build New York City. So.
Is that true? Could that possibly be true?
I know they had Masons there, so.
Yeah, right? Okay. All right, with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn. May I have a second?
I will second that.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes.
All right, guys, thank you very much.
Hey, Adam.
Good night.
Night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day.